Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Shri Radha Vino Bihari Mandir, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Patik Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Mahārāja ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Is Gopal live from Brazil? Radhe Radhe. Is Thakurji showing enough? Dandavat Pranam. I think so.
Should I move it a little?
No, yeah, if you think it's necessary.
Just, okay, a little.
Let's see if I can get this way. It works upside down. I didn't even know that. Okay.
So, we will begin with Mangalacharana.
Yes, we will begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Sri Gaudiya Giti Guccha. Mangalacharan is the auspicious invocation calling on the grace, the mercy, the blessings, the sidelong glances of our Gurudev, all of our Gurus and our Guru Varga.
All the way up to Krishna and to his Prem Guru.
You have to quote the shlok. Radhika.
Primera Guru Ami Shishyanata.
Woo! Very good. Sudevi gets a nice bowl of pumpkin soup.
Oh, Krishna Prema Bhakti, I got your message today and I'm going to give it to Kishori Mohan Prabhu tonight. I'm sorry I didn't do it yet, but I am going to, so thank you. Radhe Radhe.
I don't know what that's about, but it sounds quite exciting. Really? So Mangalacharan, page 1 of this. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam. Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangscha Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇiti Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Audarya Madhurya Gunaischa Yuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Nārayaṇam Tvang Shirashan Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Padabjadataika Hridhi Chaitanya Leela Amrita Sarasaram Nārayaṇam Tvang Satatam Prapadye Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedānta Swami Nitti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Gaurapreshthaya Bhutale Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Itti Namine Atimartya Charitraya Svashritanancha Paline Jiva Dukhe Sadartaya Shri Nama Premadayine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayitaya Kripabdhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahayan Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Birudhapa Siddhanta Dhvantaharine Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamhara Sambodhe Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchiranandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugabbarayate Gauravirbhava Bhume Stvam Nirdeshtha Sachana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhauma Shri Jaganathayate Namaha Mancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kantan Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jayatang Surato Pangor Mama Mandam Matergati Matsarvasvapadambojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Śrīmad Ratnagara Singhasanastho Śrī Radha Śrīla Govinda Deva Preshthālibhi Sevyamano Smarami Śrīmandra Sarasarambhi Vangshivatattatastitaha Karshanvenu Svaner Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestunaha Vrindaye Tulasi Devyai Priyayai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupasvarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhava Mahādavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamritashvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nam eva kevalam. Kalo nastyeva, 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 gatiranyatha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dandava Pranama Vaishnavas. I totally forgot to clean the harmonium, so I didn't want to bring allergies to myself, so I didn't play it this time. So today, supposedly, at the Kumbh Mela, it is the third and final bathing day. Kumbh Mela goes on for about a month. A third and final bathing day, so many thousands and thousands, maybe millions, will be coming to Vrindavan and going to certain places in Jamuna to bathe at those ghats. So today would be a really, really crazy day. We probably couldn't even get in. Saturdays and Sundays are quite difficult to get into that side of Vrindavan through any kind of transportation, even those new electric rickshaws. Even though they're quite thin. Motorbikes and bicycles can go through, but cars, those tempos and even regular rickshaws, it's quite difficult to even get past. The Parikrama Marg section where Bihariji is. Everyone's like, Bihariji, Bihariji. And they've got massive parking lots, but still, they keep diverting the traffic everywhere. So, it was very fun to be with all of you yesterday for Mahashivratri. Going to Gopishwar Mahadev, and then going from there to Vangshivat, then Kumbh Mela, and remembering all of the sweet pastimes of Lord Shiva with Krishna. Srila Gurudev said that we see him as Guru and as the topmost Vaishnava. So instead of worshipping him as Bhagavan, although from one perspective he is non-different, like the comparison of yogurt and milk, Harihara Ekatma Rup, they're like one soul. In the same way, Krishna says to Uddhava, you are dearer to me than my own Atma. But still they are individual personalities. And Lord Shiva's bhav is that I am always the servant of my Prabhu, of the Lord. The only place we hear in our Shastras, pretty much, where the Supreme Lord is claiming his supremacy, we hear it in Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Aham evasam evagre. We hear it in Bhagavad Gita a lot. Aham sarvasya prabhava. I am the source of everything. Everything is emanating from me. There is no truth superior to me. We hear that from the mouth of Krishna, or from his direct manifestations, his own avatars, so to speak. We don't hear that from others. Lord Shiva is always saying, I am the servant. Baladev Prabhu, although he is that, is always of the mood of being the servant. Radhika, although she is the prime Shakti or potency of Krishna, and although she completely controls Krishna with her love and affection, always sees herself as his servant, as Mahaprabhu has explained in the Śrī Satyavrata, that you are always my prananath. Prananath means the Lord of my every life's breath, my pran, my own life. So, from the perspective of tattva, Lord Shiva, although he's considered one, yet there's speciality. And we need to maintain that idea of speciality, otherwise we become ekavads, means there's only one thing. But within that one thing, there's infinite variety. So, sagunam, nirgunam, tattvam. All variety and nirgunam, no quality. So there's no mundane quality, but there are unlimited transcendental qualities. From one perspective, Krishna says, even of us jivas, mamaivangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana, that all the jivas are my eternally separated parts and parcels, my fragmented parts and parcels. And we are also known as incarnations, believe it or not. We are also called angsa. But there's a tag just before that angsa. If anyone knows what the angsa is, what the tag is before the angsa for jiva tattva, then you will get the smallest particle of the most powerful substance in all of the universe, a particle of dust from Giriraj near Radha Kund. So, I'll tell it in Sanskrit and you can tell it in English. Bibhina angsa. Krishna is known as Vibhu, ever expanding, unlimitedly increasing. And the jivas are known as Bibhina angsa, Bibhinangsa. So what's the opposite of infinite? So in one sense, there is no difference between the possessor of Shakti and the Shakti or the potencies. Shakti Shaktir Mator Abhed. There is no difference, and yet there is speciality. There is difference. Infinitesimal. That is the meaning of Vibhina Angsa. Charudasi ki jai. So infinitesimal. We are infinitesimal incarnations, so to speak. We don't possess all of the same quantities, but many of the same qualities. Jiva Tattva, I have heard and read from our acharyas, up to 50 qualities. Shiva, more. Nārayaṇa, up to 60. And Krishna, of course, 64. And whoever can name those madhuris, those specialities, those special qualities that only Krishna possesses, not even Nārayaṇa possesses, we've already discussed them. The first one will get gulab jamun, second one will get rasagula, third one will get rasamalai, fourth one will get jilebi. We have to test again and again so that these become part of us. So, coming to the aspect of Lord Shiva, Srila Gurudev explained that there are 3 different ways of viewing Lord Shiva. There's the Tattva Gata Vichar, the consideration of the essential foundational truth of who and what he is, from the unbiased perspective. Tattva Gata Vichar. Then there's the Aishvarya Gata Vichar. Aishvarya means from the perspective of Lord Shiva's view of Bhagavan or of Krishna in the mood of Aishvarya, how he's serving the Lord in every way. And then there is Naravat Gata Vichar. That is human-like, or the conception of the human-like pastimes. So from the Tattva, Brahma Samhita says, Kshiram yatada dvikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahitata pritagashti heto. For me, this verse is easy because yogat sounds like yogurt, but actually that's not what it means. Dahi is yogurt. But anyhow, Kshiram yata dadhi vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahitata pritagashti heto yashambhutam apitata samupaiti karyat. So, in this verse, it is explaining that there is some kind of comparison like yogurt and milk. Milk can always be turned into yogurt, but you can never turn yogurt back into milk. So it is showing, in essence, Govindam Adi Purusham And what is this? Sarvakarana Karana. Krishna is the prime cause of all secondary causes. In other words, Shiva is a manifestation of Krishna, but Krishna is not a manifestation of Shiva. Shiva, in one sense, is non-different from Krishna, and yet he is also different. Nothing, in one sense, is different from Krishna, and yet everything is different from him. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coined the term achintya, inconceivable, bheda, different, abheda, not different, tattva, truth. The inconceivable truth of a difference and not difference between Krishna and all of his manifestations. But there is one essential thing. Every single thing that has come from Krishna, which is everything, is really ultimately and exclusively for his purpose. As Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj would quote, Hegel, God by definition is of himself and for himself. So there is nothing which is separate and or independent from him. Everything is from him and ultimately for him. So infinite variety is there in all of its varied manifestations. So from the one perspective, there's the one aspect, abhed, not different. But from the other perspective, there is bhed. Bhed means difference or speciality. And that speciality must be there so that Krishna can taste and experience rasa, that is taste. Even Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir, Hladini Shakti Rasmad. The separate manifestation of Srimati Radhika from Krishna is for the purpose of experiencing pranay, love and affection. In other words, you can have a tongue made of sugar and you can eat sugar, but then you wouldn't taste anything. So then you create taste buds which separately taste different flavors. Now you have taste. Although the Creator has made all of it, still He's made the capacity to taste, and He likes to taste. So therefore, although nothing is separate from Him, everything is also individual so that He can experience. And this is His nature. This is why He is called Vishai Bhagavan, the Supreme Enjoyer. And all others are in the other tattva, ashray, to serve that supreme enjoyment, including Lord Shiva. Alright, so just in case we didn't remember them all, Venu Madhuri, the sweetness of Krishna's flute. Venu, even Nārāyaṇa doesn't play the flute. Rup Madhuri, the sweetness of Krishna's form. So beautiful. It completely reverses everything's nature. Lila Madhuri, the sweetness of his pastimes. We don't see that anywhere else. And Guna Madhuri or Prema Madhuri, the sweetness of his love and affection. Also, there's a speciality of the sweetness of the relationship between his devotees and him. Do we see in any other incarnation or any other avatar where that Lord is completely controlled by his devotees? Not like Krishna in Vrindavan. Prem, Gurudev said, in Vrindavan, actually Prem controls everything. Prem is controlling Krishna, Radhika, all of the Brajabasis. Prem is controlling everything, and everyone is completely swept up in that Prem. So I'm telling this all related to, yes, peacock feather Madhuri, but that would be part of his roop, the speciality of his form, because he's always wearing that peacock feather. Okay. You want to bring something?
I don't know. I want to see what's happening and then maybe
Okay.
Sorry.
ठीक है. Say Radhe Radhe. ठीक है. So the sweetness of his form, whenever he's described, whenever Krishna is described, in any of the beautiful verses of Śrīmad Bhagavatam or any other place, one of the parts of the description is he's wearing a peacock feather on his head. Not in any other form. Not Dwarkadish. Not Matsya Kurma Varaha Narasingha. Not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita itself, there it is stated that only Krishna in Vrindavan is wearing the peacock feather. This is a speciality of Krishna in Vrindavan. Even that Shyama Sundar Shikanda Shekara, Smeraha Samurali Manohara, that Shyama Sundar who's wearing a peacock feather on his head, who's mildly smiling so sweetly. In so many of the verses, this is part of the description of Krishna's beauty. So I want to come back to this Lord Shiva conception just for a little bit, because these three different perspectives are there. There's the conception of tattva, or the foundational truth of who he is. He's transcendental. He's not material. He's not of this material world. His residence is beyond the Brahmajyoti. Even so many can fall from that point where they're just touching on it and they come back down. I think the verse is Ahuhya Krichena Padam Padam Padam. Something like that. Ye nye ravindakshavi muktamaninas. So those who try to merge, who are trying to go there because of lack of activity, they cannot feel satisfied there. Why? Because the soul's nature is to be Ananda and also Chit. So in the Brahmajyoti, one may experience, or maybe not experience, because you won't realize something separate, but there is existence. But in terms of knowledge of your relationship, bhav and any of that, you will not experience it. And that's intrinsic within the jiva. So something is lacking. The jiva cannot find its satisfaction there. Also, ananda, love, affection, pleasure, happiness. They call it Brahmananda. But our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja very strongly begs to differ. He said their idea of ananda in that situation is simply illusion. Where they're saying that Krishna and Radhika and their love and the devotees' prema and all of that is simply illusion. Param Gurudev just switched the tables on them and threw it back with all evidence from Shastra. He's my hero. So, from that perspective, the jiva will not find its satisfaction because it's lacking in its necessary proper activity. What is that? Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishner Nitya Das. The jiva is an eternal servant of Krishna. Servant implies what? Service. And service by its nature must be done with feeling. If it's to be considered real or devotional service, there must be a feeling of devotion. So lacking the bhav or the chit and lacking the love and affection, the jiva will not find its satisfaction. So due to lack of proper activity, our Srila Prabhupada said, that jiva will again have to come back to this world. And from the human form only can one actually endeavor for perfection. So I told that for a reason. Lord Shiva is beyond that, in transcendental Kailash. Of course, there are many different aspects of Shiva. There are expansions of expansions of expansions. Some are more directly related with material energy, and some aspects are more within the transcendental energy. Still, we must understand that he is also always transcendental and pure. Srila Gurudev gave the example that any very qualified person might take a role where they have to do something. I've seen Vaishnavas. Sab theek hai? I've seen Vaishnavas when there were some very big problem cleaning the sewage with sticks and trying to unblock it. That's not what they would normally do, but they're serving a particular function. So you can't then say, well, you're a sewage cleaner. No, this is a Vaishnava who is taking on that function. So Lord Shiva has the service of, in essence, mixing with Tamagun for the purpose of the destruction of the universe at the time of universal dissolution. That doesn't mean that he is subjected to Tamagun. He's taking that role. Like you see our Srila Gurudev and our Guru Varga. It appears that they are in this material world, like us. But we should understand that they are not like us in the material world. Rather, they're always absorbed in the transcendental realm. From our vision, it looks like they're here, but from the true conception, they're always present in the transcendental realm. And they are not subject to the four defects like we are: illusion, mistakes, imperfect senses, and cheating others. So when we look at them, we see, oh, they're doing a lot of the same activities we're doing. Therefore, we tend to superimpose upon them that they are just like us. But this is a miscalculation from the material mind. Lord Shiva is also transcendental to this material world, but he interacts with it as a service, as his service. That doesn't mean that he is bound in it or controlled by it. He is a master. It means he is the master of the material energy. And by Lord Shiva doing his service, everything actually comes into creation here. Sadashiva. But we won't go deeply into that. So there's different aspects from this Aishvarya Gata Vichar, from the conception of the mood of awe and reverence. Lord Shiva is taking so many forms and serving the Lord. I told you yesterday, even as Hanuman. In Ram Lila he's serving, but also in Krishna Lila. He sat on the flag of Arjuna and roared very loudly and frightened the hearts of the enemy. And he was serving Krishna as well during this battlefield, this Mahabharata war on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And as Durvasa, in so many different ways, he's serving. And sometimes it looks like Durvasa is not serving. Lord Shiva's ways of serving are a little bit tricky. We need to understand that, because sometimes it looks like he's giving very powerful benedictions to the demons. Well, Lord Brahma also. But this is for the service of the Lord as well. We don't understand it. Why would they give benedictions to the demons and the demons will kill thousands of people and create holy terror? Sudevi and I have been discussing this point. The separation of the soul from the body for us is a massive deal. But from the perspective of even just saintly persons, dhiras tatra namuhyati, they are not in the slight bit disturbed by the change of bodies. They understand that the soul is eternal. Then how will it affect Krishna or Lord Shiva or any supremely transcendental personality? We were sitting at lunchtime actually, and I was like, it would be as inconsequential as us blinking. And do we think when we blink how many germs or bacteria lose their lives? We don't even think about it. It's millions maybe. One blink. We don't think about it. It's inconsequential. It doesn't really matter. We might feel bad if you kill a mosquito or a fly or some other thing. But at that point, if one of Brahma's seconds is 100,000 of our years, what about one of Vishnu's seconds? One out-breath. He's not concerned with our change of bodies. The only thing that concerns him is the one thing that we have been given the independence to give or not, and that is our love and affection. Sad anga sharanagati hoibe jahar tahar prarthana shune Śrī Nandakumar. That person who turns to Krishna with a mood of loving surrender, Krishna will hear those prayers. His ears will perk up. Oh, you want to offer something to me. Everything else he has, except for that. Our love and affection. How can we serve him? How can we get his attention? Offer him that. My love, my affection, my independence. Ooh, that's a tough one to give up. But that's what he's searching for. That's exciting for him. And if we make one step toward him in that way, he'll make 100 or 1,000 steps toward us. Because that is attractive to him. And for those of you who have children, you'll understand this. I've been contemplating it quite a lot over the years. We cry, or children cry, over what color candy they get. One gets the blue one or the green one, and the other one gets the red one, and they start freaking out, crying, throwing a tantrum. I wanted that color. Yeah, but your sister already got that one. You have to take this one. And they're freaking out and crying. Does the parent get emotionally involved with? They might go, oh, poor thing. But it doesn't move us. We understand that they're crying over a color, but it's not really any different. The flavor is the same. When we're crying over which body we get or which body we lose or anything like that, for them it's not a big deal. Even Gurudev, when someone would be about ready to leave this world, he would be very excited. He would be like, you should leave it like an old cloth. Give it up. Radhe, Radhe, Haribol, Haribol. We will meet again in a very beautiful place. Like that. I'm not afraid to leave, Gurudev said. So from their perspective, all of this weeping over mundane material things is just child schnibbly. You understand that word, schnibbly? It's just pouting over trifling things. So, right. So Sudevi's just reminding me, like, are we still crying over what body we had in our last life? We don't even remember it. And it was only a few years ago. And, or what? Or how about the bodies of our family members from last life? Inconsequential. It doesn't even come in our mind or our thoughts. We form all sorts of attachments to everything related to this body at this time and make it the be-all, end-all of everything. And then at the end of this life, when we have a new family and a new body, this whole thing will be completely inconsequential. Many, many years ago, gosh, maybe we were on the airplane or something, and there was this show about this clairvoyant guy. And they were asking these questions. What happened to my father? You know, can you communicate with my father? And he's just like, I think it was this lady, she's like, sorry, your father has taken birth somewhere else. Your father has taken birth in a family and is now their little girl and won't care or think anything about this past relationship. And I was like, whoa, that's quite evolved to have this conception. Like, don't worry about your father. Your father's not your father anymore. It's a little girl somewhere else. And this is one of the basic teachings of our scriptures, but it's so easy to forget and make everything about us, me, here, now. The only thing that really matters is yome bhaktya prayachati. Taking any little thing. It's not about the thing, it's about here. Offering our heart, our love, our affection to Krishna. And after that, hopefully if we develop that mood, we'll realize that everything else does not really matter. As our Gurudev would say time and again, there's only one problem. Who knows what the problem is? There's only one problem. Whoever gets this answer right. What is that problem? Only one. Where is Krishna? This is the only problem. He Radhe Vrajadevike Chalalite He Nanda Shuno Kutaha Shri Govardhana Kalpapada Patale Kalindi Vanye Kutaha Goshanta Viti Sarvato Brajapure He Dair Mahavivvalo Vande Rupa Sanatanor Bhujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. One other thing, Srila Gurudev was explaining that most people worship Lord Shiva for material things. Who worships Lord Shiva for material things? Mostly those with demonic temperaments. And what is the meaning of demon? Demon means for me, not for Krishna. Really, when it comes down to it. Trying to be the controller, the enjoyer, enjoying separately and independently from Krishna. This is the demonic temperament. It's not necessarily some face with horns and a tail and fangs and all like that. When they talk about demon, it's the opposite. There's sur and asur. Sur means godly or focusing on God, and asur means not like that or the opposite, who is averse to that, who is trying to take everything for themselves. So this has been translated as demon, but it's not necessarily that everyone who's labeled as a demon is looking like Putana or Hiranyaksha or any of these other very gruesome looking creatures. It's the mood which is not favorable to God, but is for my own satisfaction, for my own pleasure, for my own enjoyment and indulgement. So Srila Gurudev is explaining that who worships Lord Shiva for material things, very easily he can grant them, but you see that the demons are worshipping him for material things. If we want, I just heard something funny, sorry. There's a huge delay in transmission to Europe. It might just be from here. So, if we want the real gift that Lord Shiva has to give, then, like that person who cried to Lord Shiva because he didn't have enough money to get his daughter married. So he did intense austerities. Lord Shiva appeared before him, and what did he say? I need the greatest wealth. I need the greatest wealth. Please help me. Lord Shiva said, you should go to Sanātana Gosvāmī in Vrindavan. That man was so excited, he ran to Sanātana Gosvāmī in Vrindavan. And he told him, I did intense austerities to Lord Shiva. He told me to come to you that you have the greatest wealth. Sanatana was thinking, what do I have? I have a loincloth. There's nothing around me anywhere. What is Lord Shiva talking about? Oh, maybe he's referring, because he realized this man wanted material wealth. Maybe he's referring to that touchstone that I had. Somewhere over there in the dust, in the sand somewhere. If you can find it, you can have it. Sanātana Gosvāmī said to this man. That man went digging and searching and found this touchstone. He was so excited. And he was like, touchstone, boom, touched some iron with it, boom, it turned to gold. He was happily dancing down the road back, thank you, I've got a touchstone. And then a little bit down the road, he was thinking, wait a second, no one gives away wealth that easily. Only someone who has much greater wealth can give away something like this. I think he's fooled me. So he decided to turn around and he went back to Sanātana Gosvāmī. You kept this there. You felt no value for it, so this cannot be your greatest wealth. Sanatana's like, yes. He said, I want the greatest wealth. Lord Shiva said you have the greatest wealth. Sanātana Gosvāmī said, okay, But you take that and you throw it as far into Jamuna as you can, and then come back to me. The man did as he was told. Then he came back to Sanatana Gosvāmī. And what did Sanatana Gosvāmī bestow upon him? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Chintamani Krishna. The supreme transcendental gem. Srila Gurudev was saying, there are so many different kinds of valuable substances. Millions of the treasures of this world does not compare to one Kaustuba money. But millions of those don't compare to even one touchstone, Chintamani. Millions of Chintamani touchstones don't compare to even one name of Krishna. How valuable is that treasure? Sanatana Goswami told this man, don't worry about anything. You stay here and take shelter of Sri Harinam. Everything will be managed naturally by Krishna. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Gohe Sudrida Nishchoy Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. This is the definition of faith, transcendental Shraddha. That's simply by engaging in bhakti, devotional service, loving service to Krishna, automatically all of your other material obligations are taken care of. There's nothing left to do. So Sanatana Goswami told him, all of that will be arranged naturally, automatically. You just stay here and take shelter of Harinam. This man had faith and he followed the order of Sanatana Goswami, and very soon he attained the perfection of his life. So even by trick, Lord Shiva somehow gradually brings one to the service of Krishna. Why we don't go directly to Lord Shiva for material things and hope that it will bring us to the service of Krishna? It's kind of like going sideways instead of directly to our destination. So we don't want to wait. Right, Gurudev was talking about, there's different ways of touching your nose. You can just touch your nose, or you can reach around your head like this to touch your nose. So there's different ways. We try to do it the way that is the most efficient, the most practical. So if you approach Lord Shiva for the proper thing, why does Srila Gurudev explain why he gives so easily to materialists? Why does he give so easily what they want? Because he's sitting there chanting Hare Krishna or Ram, 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 Ram. He's praying to his Ishtadev Sankarshan Ram. Now, if someone is absorbed in their bhajan and you come to disturb them, please give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. Take it, take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. Very easily. Most people do not approach him for anything transcendental. Give me health, give me wealth, give me children, give me wife, give me husband, give me house, give me this, give me that, give me, give me, give me. And he's just like, take it. I don't want to be disturbed. Ram, 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 Ram. His hand is just up like this and he's chanting. Ram, Ram, Ram. Whatever you want, take it. All material, mundane things. But if you come to him and you pray with that beautiful mood, Vrindavana Vanipate Jaya Soma Soma Mole Sanaka Sanandana Sanatana Nāradejya Gopishvara Brajavilasi Unangri Padme Prema Prayacha Nirupadhi Namo Namaste. Oh, beautiful Lord Shiva, who has the moon on his head. Soma Soma Mole Sanaka Sanandan, the four Kumaras, Narada, so many are offering their prayers to you. Oh Gopishvara, this beautiful form as a gopi who has taken shelter of the gopis of Braj, who is named by Krishna, Gopishvar. You have the potency to awaken prem for the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, who are always engaged in beautiful pastimes in Vrindavan. Please be kind upon me. I'm offering my pranam at your lotus feet and begging you for this. Please awaken that prem for Sri Sri Radha and Krishna within my heart. You are the guardian of this place. Please give me that stamp. Allow me to enter, awaken prem, and bring me to the loving service of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. So as Sri Guru, as the topmost Vaishnava, he can also grant this. So why approach him for any other mundane lesser thing which will only be binding in samsara, in this material world, when he can give us that highest thing. So we pray to him like that, to this original, highest perspective and aspect. So now we will call out for the mercy of Shri Guru. One more thing about Lord Shiva. He's not only the protector of Vrindavan, he's also the protector of Jagannath Puri. He's the protector of Navadvip. He's the protector of all of the dhams. It is said that if you leave your body in Jagannath Puri Dham or Bhubaneswar, that there as you are leaving, he will come and chant in your ear, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. If you are leaving your body in Vrindavan, then he will come and chant in your ear. What will he chant, Sudevi? If you are leaving your body in Vrindavan, Lord Shiva will come and chant in your ear. Yes. What? Radhe, Radhe. Radhe. And if you are leaving your body in Sri Navadvip Dham, then Mahadev will come and whisper in your ear, Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. So he's very, very merciful, very kind. And we should give him all respect, all honor. And Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī is telling in Hari Bhakti Vilas that we must honor him, worship him, and give all respect to this great, wonderful personality, this topmost of all Vaishnavas. To avoid doing this will be unfavorable to Vaishnavas. It can be considered Vaishnava aparad. So we should pray to him in the proper way, in the proper mood, for his mercy, for that greatest gift that he can give us. And then we can be assured of success. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma, page 28. Merciful topmost Vaishnava. Per Shri Bhakti Vilas Thakur. I don't know who Bhakti Vilas Thakur is. Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī in Hari Bhakti Vilas. Page 28 by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Vando mui savadhano mate. Vando mui savadhano mate. Vando mui savadhano mate. Vando mui savadhano Jahar prasade bhai e bhavato riya jai. Jahar prasade bhai e bhavato riya jai. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoy होइते कृष्ण प्राप्ति हो जाहा होइते गुरुमुख पद्मो वाक्य चित्ते कोरिया ऐक्य गुरुमुख पद्मो वाक्य चित्ते कोरिया ऐक्य आरना को रिहो मने आशा आरना को रिहो मने आशा श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तमागति श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तमागति जे प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा जे प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहा होइते अविद्या विनाश जते प्रेम भक्ति जहा होइते अविद्या विनाश जते वेदे गाय जहारो चरितो वेदे गाय जहारो चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवन लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवन ओ हा हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया हा हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया तुआ पदे लइनु शरण तुआ पदे लइनु शरण एबे जाश घुषु त्रिभुवन एबे जाश घुषु त्रिभुवन गुरुदेव पतित पावन गुरुदेव पतित पावन प्रभुपाद पतित पावन प्रभुपाद पतित पावन हा हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया हा हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद गुरु परंपरा गुरु परंपरा परंपरा गुरु परंपरा गुरु परंपरा गुरु परंपरा परंपरा गुरु परंपरा श्रील गुरुदेव की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय रूपानुग गौरी गुरु वर्ग की जय श्री गुरु परंपरा की जय। I know for many of you it's still winter out there, but for us here, summer is coming rapidly. We are receiving coconut, dhabs, green coconut juice regularly. I just wanted to let you know how hot it is getting now. Now we will call out for the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Sakala Vaishnava Goshai Doya Koromore, page 46. Sakala Vaishnava Goshai Doya Koromore Dante Trino Dhori Kohe Edino Pamore Sakala Vaishnava Goshai Doya Koromore Dante Trino Dhori Kohe Edino Pamore Shri Guru Charano Krishna Chaitanya Sri Guru Charanaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pada Padma Paya More Koro Dhanya Pada Padma Paya More Koro Dhanya Toma Savar Karuna Bine Iha Praptina Toma Savar Karuna Bine Iha Praptina Visheshe Ajogya Muni Kohilo Nishcha Visheshe Ajogya Muni Kohilo Nishcha Panchakalpataruha Koruna Sagaro Panchakalpataruha Koruna Sagaro Eto Bharasa Radhe Sima Gunale Shonahi Radher Sima Amayudhariya Loke Dekhao Mahima Amayudhariya Loke Dekhao Mahima Nama Sankirtana Ruchi Ar Prema Dhano Nama Sankirtana Ruchi Ar Prema Dhano E Radha Mohane Deho Hoyasa Karuna E Radha Mohane Deho Hoyasa Karuna Sakala Vaishnava Goshai Goya Koro More Donte Trino Dhori Kohe Dino Pamore Sakala Vaishnava Goshai Goya Kore Dante Trino Dhori Kohe Dino Pamore Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur 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 Prabhu Kripa Koro More Doya Koro 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 All Vaishnava Thakurus ki Jai. Now we will call out for the grace, the mercy of Sri Rupa Goswami. Vishaya Vasana Rupa Chitera Vikar by Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur, page 48. Prayer of humility to Sri Rupa and Śrī Sanātana. Raghunath Das Goswami and Sri Manashiksha. He says that when the dacoits attack you on the open road, imagine you're walking down a road at night, you've got your nice gadgets, your mobile phones, your money, your wallet, your everything, and a group of bandits attacks you. At that time, they want to plunder your wealth. In this case, what wealth do we have? Our time, our energy, our bhakti, our devotion to Krishna, to Gurudev, to Vaishnavas, to Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what are these dacoits he's referring to? Lust, anger, greed, madness, envy, pride, conceitedness, all of these things. When they're attacking you on this open road at such a time, one should call out very loudly for the help and the mercy of our guardians on the path of bhakti. That is our 6 Goswamis. Swarupam, Shri Rupam, Sahaganam, Tasyagrajamapi, calling out greatly for their mercy. And they will rescue us, they will save us. Loudly calling out their names has effect. Page 48. Vishaya Vasana Rupa Chitera Vikar. Vishaya Vasana Rupa Chitero Vikaro. Vishaya Vasana Rupa Chitero Vikaro. Amaro Hridoye Bhoga Koreyani Varo. Yamaro Hridoye Bhoga Koreyani Varo. Koto je jatono yami Korila Maha. Koto je jatono yami Korila Maha. Nagelo vikaro buddhi sheshe prano jayo. Nagelo vikaro buddhi sheshe prano jayo. Eghoro vikaro more korilo yasthiro. Eghoro vikaro more korilo yasthiro. Shanti na payilo sthano antaro adhiro. Shanti na payilo sthano antaro adhiro. Shri Rupa Gosvāmī more kripa bitariya. Shri Rupa Gosvāmī more kripa bitariya. Udhari me kabe jukto vairagyo yarpiya. Udhari me kabe jukto vairagyo yarpiya. Kabe sanatano more chharaye vishoyo. Kabe sanatano more chharaye vishoyo. Nityanande samarpibe hoya sadoyo. Nityanande samarpibe hoya sadoyo. Shri Jiva Gosvāmī kabe siddhanta shalile. Shri Jiva Gosvāmī kabe siddhanta shalile. Nibhaibe tarkanolo chitto jahe jwale. Nibhaibe tarkanolo chitto jahe jwale. Shri Chaitanya namo shune puribe pulaka. Shri Chaitanya namo shune udibe pulaka. Radha Krishna amrita pani hoibo yashoka. Radha Krishna amrita pani hoibo yashoka. Kangalero sukhangalo durjano e jano. Kangalero sukhangalo durjano e jano. Vaishnava Charanashrayo Jacheyo Kinchano Vaishnava Charanashrayo Jacheyo Kinchano Rupa Sanatan Jai Rupa Sanatan Rupa Sanatan Jai Rupa Sanatan Jai Rupa Sanatan Jai Rupa Sanatan Rupa Sanatan Jai Rupa Sanatan Prabhu hai 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 Śrī Rupa Gosvāmī Prabhu ki jai Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī Prabhu ki jai Śrī Sat Gosvāmī Prabhu ki jai Devidasi Ramya, your 2-year-old will one day hopefully be well versed in all of these bhajans. I'm very happy that he's able to pick up like that and repeat the words. Now we will call out for the grace and mercy of Śrī Nityananda Prabhu. Today, Sudevi just kept going, Bolo Gora Hari, Bolo Gora Hari, Amare Kini Aloho, Bolo Gora Hari. She was like, wait, which bhajan is that from? Because there are many different bhajans glorifying Śrī Nityananda Prabhu. It's from Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai. Page 60 by Srila Lochan Das Thakur. First we will sing Panchata Maha Mantra Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai Abhimano অভিমানো শূন্য নিতাই নগরে বেড়ায় অধম্ম পতিত জীবে দ্বারে দ্বারে গিয়া অধম্ম পতিত জীবে দ্বারে দ্বারে গিয়া হরি নাম মহামন্ত্র দিচ্ছে নবিলায়া হরি নাম মহামন্ত্র দিচ্ছে নবিলায় যারে দেখে তারে কহে দন্তে তৃণধরি যারে দেখে তারে কহে দন্তে তৃণধরি আমারে কি নিয়ালো বলো গৌর হরি 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 এত বলি নিত্যানন্দ ভূমে গরি যায় এত বলি নিত্যানন্দ ভূমে গরি যায় সোনার পর্বত যেন ধুলাতে লোটায় সোনার পর্বত যেন ধুলাতে লোটায় হেন তারে যা প্রতি না জন্মিল হেন তারে যা প্রতি না জন্মিল লোচন বলে সে পাপি এলো यारो गेलो लोचन बोले से पापी एलो यारो गेलो अक्रोध परमानंद नित्यानंद निताय हे Sachinandan Jai Gaura Hari Jai Sachinandan Jai Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jai Gaura Hari Gaura Hari 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 Jai Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jai Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jai Gaura Hari Nitai He Gaur He Nitai He Gaura He Nitai He Gaura He Nitai He Gaura He पतित पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय गौरांग तुमी मोरे दया ना छारी हो Page 78 by Shri Vasudev Ghosh. गौरांग तुमी मोरे दया ना छारी हो Excuse me. Oh, Hare Krishna. Gaurango tumi more doyana chari ho 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 apano koriya charane rakhi ho apano koriya charane rakhi ho Gaurango tumi more doyana chari ho Gaurango tumi more doyana chari ho tomaro charano lagi sabate yaginu tomaro charano lagi sabate yaginu shitala charano পাইয়া শরণ লইনু শীতল চরণ পাইয়া শরণ লইনু গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো একুলে ওকুলে মুই দিলু তিলাঞ্জলি একুলে ওকুলে মুই দিলু তিলাঞ্জলি রাখি হো চরণে মোরে আপনার বলি রাখি হো চরণে মোরে আপনার বলি গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো বাসুদেব ঘোষ বলে চরণে ধরিয়া বাসুদেব ঘোষ বলে চরণে ধরিয়া কৃপা করি রাখো মোরে কৃপা করি রাখো মোরে পদ ছায়া দিয়া কৃপা করি রাখো মোরে পদ ছায়া দিয়া গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো আপন করিয়া রাঙা চরণে রাখি হো আপন করিয়া রাঙা চরণে রাখি হো সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি জয় সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি জয় সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি জয় সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি গৌর হে 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 प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम शचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। Hare Krishna. So now we will call out to Krishna. In the words of Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur, Janama Sapalatar Krishna Darshana Jar, page 126. And I'm actually hesitant to sing this one because the meter changes and there's an alap in the middle, which I am not alap. Sudevi, yes? What did Gurudev tell you when he told you you should do alap? He said, do you know alap? And she was like, no. He said, when any emotional or beautiful point comes in the bhajan and your heart is feeling it, then you sing ooh, ooh, ah, ah. So he was telling her she should do alap. And it doesn't mean all the time, it just means when your heart comes to that point where it's too exciting. An example of an alap would be like in the evening arti song. Ki bajayo jayo. That. It's doing all that stuff. So please forgive me in advance for any mistakes, but this is just such a beautiful glorification of Krishna. And I want to sing it more often, so maybe with more practice I will become more comfortable. That person's birth is successful if, by good fortune, he has Krishna's darshan just once. By seeing Krishna with the opened eyes of the heart, the jiva abandons all perversions of consciousness. I was just reading the other day from Gurudev. And he said, before we see ourselves, before we have self-realization, we will have darshan of Krishna. And by his transcendental effulgence, we will be able to see ourselves, who we really are. Then we will be able to understand everything. The nature of our relationship and our prem with Krishna. Bedecked with garlands of forest flowers, Krishna expertly engages in amorous enjoyment in Vrindavan. Standing in his threefold bending form and holding his flute, he displays unparalleled beauty. He is an ocean of nectarian mellows and a reservoir of all good qualities. His bodily complexion is the color of a fresh rain cloud. When Srila Prabhupada is speaking about that in his commentary of Brahma Samhita, tinged with the beauty, the hue, blue clouds. What is that? Venum panantam aravinda dalayataaksham marhavitam samasitam burusandarangam. I don't know, maybe it's not that one, maybe it's the next one. Alola chandra kana bala. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Anyhow, I can't remember at the moment, but he's tinged with the beauty, the hue of blue clouds. The color of a fresh rain cloud. He wears a great peacock feather on his head. See, whenever we describe Krishna with this Shire Shiki Picha Vara. He's wearing a peacock feather on his head. And we already spoke about that. How his peacock feather is leaning towards Srimati Radhika, and on every peacock feather the name Radha is present. And Krishna is showing, look, I'm wearing your name on my head. And I'm offering this to you at your feet. His forehead is beautifully decorated with marks of sandalwood paste. Wearing yellow garments and smiling sweetly, he maddens the whole world with his beauty. When I see that form of Krishna, whose beauty defeats the dark blue Indra Nila jewel sapphire, Standing under a kadamba tree, my mind becomes unsteady. My feet cannot move and I forget my material existence. Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja planted 2 kadamba trees just outside of Imlitala, just near Gopinath Bhavan. There's one and a second one. Gurudev planted those. He also planted the one in Imlitala when the floods, Jamuna flooded and took away the older one. They rescued one branch and they had Gurudev plant that, and the new tree was growing from that. So, I don't know if you've ever walked home at night from Radharaman in the winter time, 9 o'clock, 9:30, and it's so foggy and so dark. Only a couple street lights are there, and no one's out, except for a few dogs. But it's quite frightening, not because of the possibility of any bad people out there, but who knows if Krishna is there under one of those trees? And how Krishna is standing under a kadamba tree. Your mind can become unsteady. And he's looking so beautiful under the moonlight. Ujwalam Chandrakena. How beautiful, how attractive, how sweet, and what a heart thief he is. My feet cannot move and I forget my material existence. O Sakhi, his sweet form is full of nectar. If the eyes behold that form, one falls unconscious and tears of love stream from them. How wonderful is the peacock feather crown on his head. Again, he's mentioning the same. Actually, this is the mood of the gopis. Kiba chura shire, kiba vangshikare. How wonderful is the flute in his hands. Kiba se tribhangatam. How wonderful is his threefold bending form. His lotus feet overflow with nectar and are bound with ankle bells. I always desire to take the form of a bee and attain shelter at his lotus feet. Who else says this? Manmanasa madhukaram arpaya nijapada pankaja makarande. And I will let you tell me who else said that. First person to guess that will definitely get a Maha peacock feather from any Thakurji. Yes.
A Maha peacock feather?
Yep. From who?
Bihari?
I said any Thakurji.
I have one from Radharaman.
We have one from Radharaman. Who said it? Not the name of the bhajan. Who said it? That bhajan. Manmanasa madhukaram arpaya nijapada pankaja makarande. May my mind, which is like a bumblebee, always flow to your lotus feet, which are like reddish lotus flowers, and drink the nectar there. So Bhaktivedānta Thakur is saying, I always desire to take the form of a bee and attain shelter at his lotus feet. I shall readily sing of Krishna's glories and never worship any other. Up, Devaki. Technically, Devaki's right, but Anjali also kind of, because Rupa Goswami is manifesting the mood of Srimati Radhika as she is seeing Krishna, and she feels like she's seeing him for the first time. Anyone who knows the term for that, where he's ever fresh and it feels like I'm seeing him for the first time, ever. Anyone who knows the Sanskrit term for that, get not kushakrata, coconut water, rasamalai, take it. Janamo sapalatar Krishna darashana jar. Janamo sapalatar কৃষ্ণ দর্শন যার ভাগ্যে হই আছে একবার, ভাগ্যে হই আছে একবার, বিকশিয়া হৃন্নয়ন হরি কৃষ্ণ দর্শন, বিকশিয়া হৃন্নয়ন হরি কৃষ্ণ দর্শন, ছাড়ে জীবন চিতের বিকার, ছাড়ে জীবন চিতের বিকার, বৃন্দাবন কেলি চতুর্বন মালি, বৃন্দাবন কেলি চতুর্বন মালি, ও ত্রিভঙ্গ ভঙ্গিম রূপ বংশীধারী অপরূপ, ত্রিভঙ্গ ভঙ্গিম রূপ বংশীধারী অপরূপ, রসময় নিধি গুণশালী, রসময় নিধি গুণশালী, বর্ণনব জলধর শিরে শিকি পিছবর, বর্ণনব জলধর শিরে শিকি পিছবর, অলকা তিলক শোভা পায়, অলকা তিলক শোভা পায়, পরিধানে পিতবাস বদনে মধুর হাস, পরিধানে পিতবাস বদনে মধুর হাস, হেন রূপ জগত মাতা, হেন রূপ জগত মাতা, ইন্দ্র নীল জিনি কৃষ্ণ রূপ খানি, হেরিয়া কদম্ব মূলে, ইন্দ্র নীল জিনি কৃষ্ণ রূপ খানি, হেরিয়া কদম্ব মূলে, ও মনয়ুচাতন নাচলে চরণ, মনয়ুচাতন নাচলে চরণ, সংসার গেলাম ভুলে, সংসার গেলাম ভুলে, সংসার গেলাম ভুলে, সংসার গেলাম ভুলে, সখী হে সুধাময় সে রূপ মাধুরী, সখী হে সুধাময় সে রূপ মাধুরী, দেখিলে নয়ন হইয়া চেতন, দেখিলে নয়ন হইয়া চেতন, ঝরে প্রেমময় বাণী, ঝরে প্রেমময় বাণী, ও কি বচুর শিরে কিবা বংশী করে, কি Kibase Tribhanga Dhamo Kiba Chura Shire Kiba Bongshi Kore Kibase Tribhanga Dhamo Charana Kamale Amiyayu Chale Charana Kamale Amiyayu Chale Tahate Nupurodam Tahate Nupurodam Sodaya Shakori Bringarupadori Charana Kamale Sthano Sodaya Shakori Bringarupadori Charana Kamale Sthano Anayase Pai Krishna Guna Gai Anayase Pai Krishna Guna Gai Arunabha Jivoyano Arunabha Jivoyano Arunabha Jivoyano Arunabha Jivoyano Krishna He 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 Vino Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Let's see what we got here. I'm looking for the term. What's the Sanskrit word for the ability or the nature in which any personality, divine transcendental personality, especially Srimati Radhika, feels that she is seeing, even though she sees him every day, but she feels, I've never seen him before. This is the first time I've ever seen such a person. I've never seen this person before. It feels like the first time. What is the Sanskrit term? Sudevi? Can you put it? No. Okay. So you're all still in line for... What did I say they would get?
A peacock feather.
Oh, Maha peacock feather. Okay. So you'll get it.
But it'll be from Radharani right here. Yeah. You have to send it to someone.
I'm not going to mail it. You have to come to Vrindavan to get it.
You have to send it. You're giving it away. Now you're giving not prasadam. You're giving Maha prasadam.
See how it's leaning towards Srimati Radhika? Like this. Not akuntha. Ever fresh, ever new, and that's not Navayovana. That's a term which is describing Krishna, being Advaitam Achutam Anadam Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha. That's ever fresh youth, new youth, Navayovana. But that feeling of first seeing that I've never seen you before. It's the first time. There's a name for it. Technical Sanskrit term. Not Nitya Nutan Nutana. No. No. they're getting desperate. Now we're going to... Oh, Taruni Gopi!
She got it?
She got it!
She gets the feather.
Purvarag.
Didn't you already say Purvarag, or you just
No.
gave the explanation?
I gave the explanation for it and I wanted the
That's why I
Sanskrit
couldn't
term.
because I thought, oh.
Now you can look up the term Purvarag and you will see so much transcendental nectar related to this term. Purva Rag. The feeling of never before having seen this amazing, beautiful person. Ever fresh. Jai. Tony Gopi is so happy. She's like, yay!
Tell her to PM you her address.
Jai. No, I said they have to come to Vrindavan to get it.
You can't do that.
I can't send Ras Malai to everyone in the mail.
They have to come for the prasadam, but if you're giving like those kinds of things away, you have to send it.
So Devi says I have to send it to you. I don't know about putting that in the mail. They have some kind of...
Oh, feathers!
Yeah, it's illegal to send peacock feathers out of India. So if you carry them,
I guess she does have to come get it.
you have to come get it. Or if we come to Letuva, then we can bring it with us. Okay. Now we're going to call out for the mercy, the blessings, the grace, the sidelong glance of Srimati Radhika. We can also pray for her sidelong glance. Kada karishyasi hamang kripa kataksha bhajanam. When and when will she bestow upon me her merciful sidelong glance? Krishna is praying for it, but her dasis are also praying for it. All of our Rupanuga Guru Varga are praying for it. There's something very special in that kripa kataksha. But we're not singing Radha Kripa Kataksha Stavaraja. We did that yesterday. Today, we will sing... Kalayati Nayanam. Yes, it's illegal, really. Radhe Radhe Ishatakurani. Kalayati Nayanam Dishi Dishi Balitam, page 342 by Sri Rai Ramananda. Kalayati nayanam Dishi Dishi Vanitam Pankajami Mridu Maruto Charitam Kalayati Dishi Dishi Varitam Pankajamiva Mridu Maruta Charitam Teli Vipinam Pravishati Shati Radha Pratipada Samudita देशि देशि वनितं पङ्कजमिव मृदु मारुतचरितं कलयति नयनं देशि देशि वनितं पङ्कजमिव मृदु मारुतचरितं विनिदधति मृदु मन्तरोपादं विनिदधति मृदु मन्तरोपादं रचयति कुञ्जरो गतिमनुवादं रचयति कुञ्जरो गतिमनुवादं कलयति नयनं देशि देशि वनितं पङ्कजमिव मृदु मारुतचरितं कलयति नयनं देशि देशि वनितं पङ्कजमिव मृदु मारुतचरितं जनयति रुद्रं गजाधिपमुदितं जनयति रुद्रं गजाधिपमुदितं रामानन्दराय कविवदितं रामानन्दराय कविवदितं कलयति नयनं देशि देशि वनितं पङ्कजमिव मृदु मारुतचरितं कलयति नयनं देशि देशि वनितं पङ्कजमिव मृदु मारुतचरितं राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण Vrishabhananandani Srimati Radharani ki jai. Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai. For those of you who don't know, many years ago, we were in Govardhan with our Srila Gurudev, and I was leading Radhe Jai Jai Madhava Daite. And at the end, I was just singing Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe. And Srila Gurudev looked over at me, and by his lips I could see what he was saying. He said, Jai Radhe, Jaya Krishna. Jai Radhe, Jaya Krishna. So then I sang Jai Radhe, Jaya Krishna, and he went like this, meaning he wanted me to sing that. He doesn't want to just leave it that we're singing Jai Radhe, but really the mood of all of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas is to very happily bring Radha and Krishna together. That is Jai Jai Radha Krishna Jugala Milan. Always to bring them together. So I wanted to share that. Now, that's why I put a question mark too, because I heard it to be the feeling prior to meeting. Yes. Never before seen. The first time I've ever seen. But it means that there's a also implied feeling prior to meeting for the first time. I've never met this person. Every day this Purva Raga is manifesting. So it's not just that one time. You can say the first time that Srimati Radhika saw Krishna, yes. But it is an everyday, daily thing. He's ever fresh, ever new. And therefore Purva Raga is happening. Not just every day, but every time there's the vision of that person. She's seeing Krishna. Who is that? I've never seen him before. And then the anticipation of meeting with him is there. So Purva Raga implies a lot of different things. But that Bhajan Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, Rupa Goswami is referencing, Srila Guru said, Srimati Radhika's Purva Raga. Is that dog okay?
Yeah, I think maybe he lost a puppy. I went to check her. She's not hurt. She's well fed. She's just crying.
Crying. Okay.
I did check her.
Okay.
She actually got embarrassed and walked away.
Oh. So we are going to continue with Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, and today we are singing the tune we grew up with. So there's a dog who's been crying outside, and Sudevi felt really sad, so she wanted to go and check on the dog, and she said the dog seems okay. She has puppies?
No, I mean, I don't know why she's crying. I didn't see any puppies. I didn't.
But she said she seems okay, but she seems to be crying, so Sudevi went to check on her. Maybe we need to get the Pure Cow Seva people to come in, because they...
She's not sick. She was walking.
They also feed the dogs and the cow and the monkeys. So Pure Cow Seva has extended beyond the pure cows and is also serving the cows, the dogs, and the monkeys, and sometimes the humans as well, because Sudevi makes rotis for us. Special rotis that are gluten-free. Damodarasṭakam. Thank you. Page 290. Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam by Śrī Satyavrata Muni, page 290. Thank you, Jiva Pavan Prabhu, for posting the bhajans. Namami Shwaram Sachit Anandarupam Prasad Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodabhiyo Dukhala Dhavamanam परामृष्टम् अत्यन्तधृत्य गोप्या रुदन्तमुहुर्नेत्र युग्मं मृजन्तम् पराम्भोज युग्मेन शातङ्कनेत्रम् मुहुश्वासकम्पत्रिरेखाङ्ककण्ठ स्थितग्रैव दामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम् इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिः आनन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषमिमजन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम् कदीयेषितजेषु भक्तैर्जितत्वम् पुनः प्रेम कष्टं शतावृत्तिवन्दे परं देव मोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चान्यं वृण्येऽहं परेशादपीह इदं ते वपुर्नाथो गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्याभिराष्टं किमन्ये इदं ते मुखं भोजम् अव्यक्तनीलये वृत्तं कुन्तलैः स्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्ब रक्ताधरं मे मनस्याभिरास्तं अलं लक्षलाभये नमो देव दामोदरानन्तविश्व प्रसीद प्रभो दुःख जालभीमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदीनं बतानु गृहानिशो मामोग्यम् एध्यक्षिदृश्य कुबेरात्मजो बद्ध मूर्त्यैव यद्वा त्वयामुचितो भक्ति भाजो कृतो च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकां मे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेस्ति दामोदरेह नमस्तेऽस्तु दाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायाथो विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् श्री दामोदराष्टकम की जय. Now we will call out to Radha and Krishna to please engage us in their service in the form of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Bol Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gurudev Gurudev Jai Gurudev Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Rupana Guru Varga Ki Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Swāminiti Namine Vanchā Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitānaṁ Pāvanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Gining Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurung Ninatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet, the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashto Tarashata Śrīmad Śrī Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashto Tarashata Śrīmad Śrī Bhaktivedānta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, all Vaishnavas, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Shyam.
Radhe Shyam. Did you hear the ulus yesterday at Bangshivat?
Yes.
That was the real thing.
Hey.
Well, Sudevi doesn't kind of an ulu. But they move their tongues this way.
I do too.
Oh, really? I don't know how to do it. I just say a little like that. But yes. Okay, we are continuing with this transcendental treasure, Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam by Śrī Satyavrata Muni, composed over millions of years as his own subjective evolution of spiritual consciousness was manifesting. This is also been placed in Padma Purana by Ved Vyas, commented on by Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī, then commented on with his Bhav Anuvad of Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, our Param Gurudev. Then following that is a commentary by our Śrīla Gurudev, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Maharaj. Needless to say, it is an amazingly beautiful transcendental treasure with so many different compartments full of new and ever fresh treasures, as if we have never seen them before. We haven't. Every time you read it, it is ever fresh. Purvarag. So, before entering into this beautiful treasure and examining its contents, we'll pray in the dust of the lotus feet of these divine personalities in the words of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairag Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnair Apayanan Mam Anubipshamandam Kripam Vidiryapara Duki Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. Begging in the dust of their lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods which are present within these pages manifest itself within our hearts. And we are continuing with verse 7.
Oh, you're going to finish this year.
I might finish this year. So, this is the verse which comes after the Kirtan verse. And this verse, Kuberatmajo badho murtyaiva yadvad Tvayamochito bhakti bhajo krito cha Tata prema bhaktim sakame prayacha Namokshe graho mesti damodareha Namamishwaram sachidananda rupam Lasat kundalam gokule brajamanam. And so we're still in the commentary of our Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, just near the end. So previously, they were saying, Sanatana Goswami and our Param Gurudev, that Śrī Satyavrata Muni is praying for Tata Prema Bhakti, that Prema Bhakti, which you so causelessly gave to those two trees, the Yamal Arjun trees, Nalakubera and Manigriva. You gave them Prema Bhakti to you, although it didn't appear that they deserved it, but anyhow you gave it to them. And look at my lack of qualification. He's feeling himself extremely low. Excuse me, my back is a little uncomfortable. Feeling himself very lowly, and yet he's praying for that highest thing. You kindly grant that to me. Although I have no qualification, although I am so low, I am so fallen, still please grant me that Prema Bhakti, love and devotion to you. So here, our Param Gurudev is telling that Śrīla Sanātana Gosvāmī reveals yet another meaning of this verse. One can also interpret the word iha. What does it mean, Sudevi? Iha, to mean here in Vrindavan. By this interpretation, it is understood that the sage prays, please grant me prema bhakti in Vrindavan. So that word is there. Where is the word iha? I'm looking in the word for word here. Very last. Damodar iha. Namokshe graho mesti damodareha. Damodar eha. So tata prema bhaktim damodareha means here, iha, here in Vrindavan. Accordingly, the special joy of that prema bhakti only appears in Śrī Vrindavan. You cannot get that kind of prema bhakti anywhere else. Vrindavan is a very special place where Krishna completely puts down all of his majesty and allows his devotees, those who are the most qualified personalities in all creation, to control him by their love and affection. What trust must be there for the supreme absolute truth, the Lord of everything, creator of everything, to allow, to place himself in a situation where he forgets he is God and allows those persons to control him completely, to tie him up, to chastise him, to call him names, to chase him with a stick, to slam him in the dust. Only those persons who are the most qualified lovers of God will get that kind of interaction with him. What kind of trust is there? So there must be an extreme qualification. And here Satyavrata Muni is praying that please grant me prema bhakti in Vrindavan. This is also our goal and aspiration, showing that also we must completely become free of all other desires. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karma adi anavritam. And our mood must be exclusively anukulyena, favorable for Krishna, Krishna anushilanam, exclusively for him, his happiness, pleasure, and benefit, without any real concern for myself. It's not about me, it's about what is for his happiness, pleasure, benefit, and favorable for him. Then we can hope to actually, truly, properly enter into Vrindavan. And only under the guidance of a Braja Rasik Vaishnava Tishtham Braje Tad Anuragi Jananugami, with that kind of mood of love and affection, can that kind of mood awaken in our hearts. Unless very special, very rare, but special mercy comes where Krishna himself might directly manifest it, but don't count on it. We can definitely count on the embodiments of his mercy to awaken that within our hearts. That is Shri Guru and the Shiksha Gurus, the pure Vaishnavas. So accordingly, the special joy of that prema bhakti only appears in Śrī Vrindavan. Because such prema bhakti manifests predominantly in Śrī Vrindavan, the sage prays to see the bound form of Śrī Bhagavan there. Where else can he be bound? Anywhere else? But in Vrindavan, he is bound. He is bound by the ropes of the love of Mother Yashoda. He is bound by the ropes of Radhika's prem. He's even bound to Lalita Saki. He is bound to all of the Brajabasis. They make him dance in so many different ways, and he becomes subservient to them. This is what it means to be controlled by love. This special form of Bhagavan, when he is bound up, can only be seen in Vrindavan. So in order to see this form directly, and also because of his extraordinary desire to see Vrindavan Bihari. So we're talking about Satyavrata Muni's extraordinary desire to see this Vrindavan Bihari. Shri Bhagavan as he who blissfully enjoys in Vrindavan in his threefold bending form. Only Krishna, who stands with a flute, is showing that threefold bending form. And that is specifically for the gopis. The sage is praying to reside in Sri Vrindavan forever. All this is indirectly conveyed through the word iha. The other portions of this verse are not affected by this and should be understood according to the explanation already given. So Śrī Satyavrata Muni is not only desiring to see that form, not only to have prema bhakti, but he wants to have prema bhakti. What kind of prema bhakti? Braja bhav. First, desiring to have that kind of bhav that Mother Yashoda has as she's kissing Krishna's face, but here also there indirectly referring to the desire to see this beautiful threefold bending form of Vrindavan Bihari Shyam Sundar, that form that only the gopis get to see. So the reference is coming stronger and stronger. Thus ends the English rendition of the Digdarshani Tika on the 7th verse by our Param Gurudev and Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī. Now we are continuing with the Digdarshani Vritti, the commentary by our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja, on this 7th verse. It's really amazing to see how our Srila Gurudev put his books together, because very often you see there's commentaries of many different acharyas. And so you can see the flow of their thoughts, their feelings, and then you can see the progression, because they have already received the full gamut of all of the previous acharyas' realizations. So they have that plus their own. And then you see the next one, and then you see our Gurudev's commentary. And it's so beautiful to see them like that. It's like, instead of all being khichdi on your plate, you can actually have many different... Khichdi has so many different things. It's got rice and dal and sabji, many different kinds of sabjis, different flavors. Sometimes there's yogurt there and chutney. So sometimes it's nice to have it all separate, your rice and dal and your different sabjis and your chutney and your chapatis and so many different things. So in this way you can see it like that. You can see the commentary of Satyavrata Muni, you see the commentary of our Param Gurudev, you see the commentary of our Gurudev. In Śrī Shikshashtakam you see the commentary of Bhaktivedānta Thakur, you see the commentary of... Who was the other one who commented there? And then, of course, our Gurudev in Śrī Upadeshamrita, you see the commentary of Bhaktivedānta Thakur, I believe it is, Radharaman Goswami, and our Gurudev. So there's many commentaries of the different Vaishnavas, and it adds so much perspective. Seeing their exclusive commentary also allows you to, in a sense, connect with them personally. That, oh, this is how they're viewing it and how they're presenting it according to their time and their place, that the particular circumstances of their time. So it gives us a very well-rounded view, and also enables us to quote from those particular acharyas when we're referring to these different verses. So our Srila Gurudev in his commentary is saying, in the previous verse, Śrī Satyavrata Muni performed Nam Sankirtan, Namo Deva Damodarāṣṭakam Vishnu, with a melted heart. So I was doing this, but I was not doing that properly. It should have been Namo Deva Damodarāṣṭakam Vishnu. By the potency of Nam Sankirtan, he received direct darshan of his worshipful Damodar for just a moment. How Krishna does that? Just a moment. Just a moment is like this one momentary darshan he gives and basically steals your heart forever. Ruins you, and you can't think of anything else. You can't do anything else. You only pine, long for that again and more of it. How much nectar is present within those two syllables, Krishna? Just the sound of it, one requires millions of ears to drink that sound, and the taste of it, one requires millions of tongues to taste that nectar. So he received direct darshan just for a moment. It is as if Krishna said to him, "O sage, I am pleased with you. Request anything you wish." Satyavrata Muni now says, even though you were yourself bound You freed the two sons of Kubera, Nalakuvara and Manigriva, who had been cursed by Sri Narad to live as twin Arjuna trees, and you also delivered them from the repeated cycle of birth and death within the material existence. Furthermore, you made them the recipients of the highest form of bhakti to you by granting them prema bhakti. In the same way, please profusely bestow upon me prema bhakti for you. So we've already discussed this point previously. Kuvera is the treasure of the demigods, and his two sons, because of their vast wealth, became intoxicated by pride. The scriptures describe 4 characteristics that intoxicate a man who possesses them, and a woman. What are those 4 characteristics? Kunti Devi tells in Śrīmad Bhagavatam, 4 disqualifications. Whoever gets this will get 4 samosas with tamarind chutney. What are the 4 disqualifications for bhakti? Because they make one proud. And bhakti is synonymous with humility. To the degree that one is devoted to the Lord, to that degree they will be humble. Hare Krishna. Wealth, beauty, knowledge, power. Janma. No, it wasn't that. Not wealth, beauty, knowledge, and power. But 3 of them were right. Not the power. But you can say, in one sense, power, but those things give you power by which you become proud. The first one mentioned is janma. What is the meaning of janma? Second one mentioned is aishvarya. The next one is shruta. And the next one is shri. Janma means Shri Krishna Janma Ashtami. Janma means high birth. Janma, Aishwarya is wealth. Shruta is education. High education, material education. And Shri means bodily beauty. Anyone who possesses these qualities, one or more of them, makes it very difficult for them to accept and to move forward on the path of bhakti because it makes one proud. Especially the wealth one, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada says, because with wealth you can buy the services of the other 3. You can purchase the services of those who are of high noble birth. You can purchase the services of those who are beautiful. You can purchase the services of those who are highly educated, even if you have no other qualification than money. So, Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, these 4 make one very proud. And it's difficult to move forward on the path of bhakti with pride. Right? Trinarapi sunichena, tarorpi sahishnuna, amanina, manadena, kirtaniya salahari. One can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly if one is feeling themselves lower than a straw in the street, if they are more tolerant than a tree, giving all respect to others and not expecting any respect for themselves. So this humility is a requirement. Otherwise, it becomes very, very difficult. So here, Srila Gurudev is telling, great opulence and wealth is one of these. The other 3 are beauty, learning, and noble birth. A curse given by a saint is identical to his blessing. Why? Because there's always some blessing within that curse. Both are meant for our ultimate benefit. But we cannot always understand this. Śrī Narad apparently cursed the sons of Kubera, Nalakuvara and Manigriva. Intoxicated by the pride of wealth, you have become so dull that you are acting like trees. So be it, become trees. The moment these words issued from Śrī Narad's mouth, the two sons of Kubera could feel their bodies turning into trees. They fell at his lotus feet and begged him to arrange for their deliverance. Śrī Narad consoled them. Listen, at the end of Dwapara Yuga, Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, will appear in Gokul to deliver you. Saying this, Śrī Narad left that place, and subsequently the two brothers took birth as twin Arjuna trees in the courtyard of Sri Nanda Maharaja's house. Now they had taken birth there in that place. Later on it became the courtyard of his house. What kind of education did Saraswati Thakur have to let go for initiation with Babaji? Gaur-Kishora's Babaji Maharaj. His Gurudev told him, take all of everything you have learned, all of that knowledge, and throw it in the ocean. It is quite useless. It cannot help you in devotion. And then come back. So there was a lot of material education as well. Mathematics, astrology, astronomy, this, that. But it can also mean the pride, the egotism, or the egoism that comes with that. Now, I cannot say that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada had egoism according to his level of education, but to teach an example to the world. He himself said, I was very proud of my knowledge, my learning, my understanding. So he's expressing that he had this great pride in his knowledge, and his Guru Maharaj said, it is useless, throw it away. It cannot help you in bhakti. So literally he had to throw away the ego of being highly educated. It's not that we cannot use knowledge in bhakti, but the ego that comes along with that has to die so that we can live, so the soul can live. That ego of being better than anyone else, more intelligent, more brilliant, more knowledgeable, more wealthy, more beautiful, more, snooty, looking down your noses at everyone, all the peons beneath you. How great am I? I once heard a sannyasi tell another sannyasi who was younger, I'm infinitely senior to you. And Shamarani Didi heard it and she just said, if you're going to play that game, because it was public and out loud, she said, if you're going to play that game, I'm senior to both of you. Come with me now. She brought them into the room and then kind of calmed them down. But he said it like this, I'm infinitely senior to you. And also we have these conceptions here in Vrindavan as well, and also among devotees. I took initiation before you. I took Diksha before you. I'm a sannyasi. Don't you know who I am? I was born a Goswami. Don't you know who I am? Do you know who our family is? How powerful we are? These kind of things people talk about all the time. In the West, we don't have it so much, but it is quite prominent in India. And anyone in India would be lying to you if they didn't admit that. The difference between the tone of the skin can make a huge difference. I saw a little car at a toll booth, a small little car. He pulls right in front of a truck, but it's so little that the truck driver couldn't see it. And the truck driver just started moving slowly forward. And it was just slowly bending the car in half. He couldn't even see, but they cut him off. He didn't know either because he was on the other side of the truck. And because the people who own the car are in a much superior position, monetarily, because they're owners and he's just a driver, they had literally were pulling him out of the car and trying to beat him. And he couldn't do anything. He couldn't really fend for himself because of his position. There are very, very clear statuses of people in India and many other places of the world as well. There's also those kind of considerations everywhere, but it's very clearly defined here. And there is that mood. Basically, if you're in a lower position and you try to place yourself in a position of defense even, you can be in big trouble. You're supposed to bow your head and accept it. So these kinds of things, it makes that person who's in the superior position feel that superiority and use it, abuse that power. And that in itself, due to pride of birth, due to pride of money, due to pride of bodily beauty, due to pride of position within education, can be a great disqualification for bhakti because it makes one proud. And it's very easy to see how one person tries to superimpose that position over another, that pride which comes from that. But the person with money, it doesn't matter where they are, what situation they came from. If they have a lot of money, then they have a lot of power. They can hire gundas or whatever, and everyone has to respect them, even the police. You don't mess with someone with money because they know how to use their money. They like to buy the services of others. They will even try to purchase the services of devotees of the Lord. Who did this? Hiranyakashipu.
Just give them a minute. I have a quick question. Does that mean that Lord Brahma is that powerful? Like, why didn't he try to kill Brahma, who gave him all of that infinite power? And why would he think that the Lord who gave Brahma that power would be the one to go, okay, yeah, because he killed Hiranyaksha, but I mean, did he engage Brahma in his worship? Brahma gave him those boons.
He treated Brahma with respect because Brahma gave him those powers. When he met Lord Brahma, he called him, "Oh, Supreme Personality of Godhead."
But wouldn't he know that he was quite limited then? Or did he just get lost in the power?
I don't know. I can't say. Sorry.
When I was listening to it, I was thinking about that. It's probably why.
I will do some research on that. See if I can see anything from our acharyas about Hiranyakashipu's mood toward Brahma. But this thank you. This Hiranyakashipu was so powerful that he had all of the demigods as his personal slaves, and the greatest of all sages, Narad, Angira, and so many thousands of sages. He had them offering lofty prayers of adoration to him. So by his wealth, by his position, by his power, by his birth, by his bodily beauty, this made him extremely egotistical. And by this, he was trying to engage everyone in his service, even the devotees of Krishna, devotees of the Lord. So these kinds of powers, you can say powers, Janma, high birth, Aishvarya, opulence, Shruta, education, Shri, bodily beauty, these can make one powerful and also egotistical, and can become a very great disqualification on the path of bhakti. What to do if there is abuse? Do we have to tell? If we don't tell that there is something false, a Brahmin can lose his power? I don't understand the question. If there is abuse, well, it depends. If Hiranyakashipu is in charge and he's doing the abuse, and if you speak up and you just get in more trouble and more abused for it, then you might have to be quiet, like they had to be quiet, because there was nothing they could do. They just had to pray to the Lord for help. In a case where you can do something about something and you're seeing abuse being done, then it's natural. One would do something according to their adhikar. And a pure devotee who is beyond the bondage of the material world, they don't need to do anything. In one moment, if they see the abuse going on, they feel compassion for the suffering of the jivas, So they can either chant Hare Krishna, tell Harikatha, give Mahaprasad, give some blessing or anything, or even if they just sit still and chant, it will all be taken care of, and they have faith in that. But I don't understand the rest of the question. So these sons of Kubera, they were the sons of the god of wealth. They were extremely wealthy. They had the high noble birth of demigods. They were also very educated, and they had extreme bodily beauty. So by this there was some disqualification. So that disqualification, Narada Muni said, become trees. Immediately they started becoming trees. They realized their mistake and they fell at his feet. Begged forgiveness. Narada Muni gave them a blessing that Krishna himself will liberate you. You will take birth as trees when Krishna appears at the end of Dvapara Yuga. So I don't know how long it was from the time of Narada Muni's curse until they received their liberation, but it was quite a long time. Oh, time has gone and I didn't even realize it. So saying this, Narada left that place, and subsequently the two brothers took birth as twin Arjuna trees in the courtyard of Sri Nanda Maharaja's house. Now, that right there is exciting. They've taken birth in that place, and now they're awaiting that time. So while they're waiting, they're having this hopeful expectation of Krishna coming to liberate them. So this kind of anticipation, there's hope, there's aspiration, there's greed, and there's expectation, but there's also meditation, absorption in Krishna. By this curse of the pure devotee, they have constant absorption in Krishna. And what is said in Bhagavatam, Akama sarvakamo va moksha karma udaradi. Whatever way you approach Krishna, if you constantly absorb your mind in Krishna, whether full of desires or not at all, in any case, always keep your mind focused on Krishna. So for all of that time, they were absorbed in Krishna. And they had offended the pure devotee, but then begged forgiveness, and he gave them the blessing. So an amazing blessing he gave them. And we will continue with that tomorrow. Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanaga Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Gaura Bhakta-vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. Govinda today and giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and Guru Varga. One of the reasons it seemed to go by so quickly is because we continued speaking Shiva Tattva in the beginning part of this program, which went on for at least half an hour, 40 minutes. So also we would like to express our indebtedness to each and every one of you for daily giving us the opportunity to do our Guru Seva, which is our life and soul. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas.
Radhe
Radhe Radhe.
Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki
Jai.
Shachinandana Gaura Hari ki
Jai. Jivriya
Mudamani Astamanyana Kal Milenge. Radhe Radhe.
Anjali, it's apricot Kamadev. So you know. Okay. Radhe Radhe.